Fuck you, I'm smarter, bitch.
I can't believe you're gonna rig this game.
We don't want to feel dumb anymore.
I feel so stupid right now.
We're here to find out if we're actually dumb.
Don't ask us any questions.
Two bumbling morons. Fuck you, I'm smarter. Welcome to Fuck You, I'm Smarter, the comedy game show where you compete with a guest to be crowned the smartest person in the room, Zoom, YouTube Live, but surprise! We have a special bonus episode, right,
Bonus
Kels?
episode for you. Yes, Lindsay and I have been making the rounds to other people's podcasts and growing our, social network, social clout, if you will. I don't know if that we're getting any
we have a lot of clout. We have a lot of clout.
Anyway, we met this awesome girl, Rocky, and we were on her podcast. She was on ours, which you might remember from a few weeks ago. Rocky Powell. She's fucking hilarious. And we were on her podcast, Wild Nights with Rocky. And we told her a crazy story about a wild night that we had.
Yeah, and when Kelly and I were trying to figure out a wild night, we're like, we've been friends for 15 years. I know we have a wild night.
We have something.
I think just years of drinking and marijuana, it really took us a while to pull this one out of our ass.
But we got it.
We nailed it. We really did.
We did. So if you want to hear a crazy story about drinking and marijuana, listen to our story.
Here's Wild Nights with Rocky. And then don't forget to rate, review, subscribe to her and to us. Tell your friends and be careful with those pot brownies, you guys. That's all I'm going to say.
Girl.
Oof.
I'm telling you.
Woof.
It's rough. Woof.
Waff.
Woof.
Waff.
Waffle.
Waff.
Waka, waka, waka. Bye.
That seems like a great intro. Fuck you, I'm smarter.
My guests this week are comedians Kelly Wallace-Barnhill and Lindsay Gentile, hosts of the podcast Fuck You, I'm Smarter. I spent a virtual afternoon with these gals because they also had me on their podcast. So check it out if you want to listen to me get progressively smarter as the episode goes on. Their wild word was duo, and after getting to know them, I got a front row seat on what an incredible and hilarious duo these two are. And as a Wild Nights first, they were, in fact, my first duo I've ever interviewed. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Wild Nights with Rocky, on Twitter at Wild Nights Pod. And now, without further ado, please enjoy my Wild Nights conversation with Kelly and Lindsay. Lindsay, Kelly, welcome. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here. Now, this is a historic moment. This is an amazing moment. You two are my first ever duo on Wild Nights.
We are so honored and so excited to be your first.
Honor and a privilege.
It's amazing. You're both hilarious. You have an amazing podcast yourselves, which we'll get into at the end. Because you are my first duo, let's get into your Wild Night story, because I know it's going to be chock full of details, chock full of wild, and duo was Lindsay and Kelly's wild word. So ladies, give it to us. Give us your Wild Night story, duo.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we are a comedy duo. We've been performing together for so many years. 15 now?
7,000 years.
15 years?
Yeah,
15 years.
1,500 years. No, literally probably about 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're like sisters. We
Yeah.
bicker like sisters.
Yes.
And we laugh like sisters. It has been in itself a wild ride.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. 15 years, that's a
thank you.
long time. That's a relationship. That's a relationship.
Definitely a
100%.
relationship.
It's like when you hear a band say it's like a marriage. It's,
Yeah.
It's a marriage.
Yeah. We should probably go to therapy, don't you think?
I've thought about it, honestly. But we had a show in New York for a very long time.
Yeah,
We had
like a weekly comedy show that we hosted.
Monday nights. It was called Backdoor Comedy at a place called Bar 9 in Hell's Kitchen.
Oh my God, wait, I have to stop you right here, right now. I used to work at a comedy club called Ha Comedy Club. And the owner of Ha Comedy Club, his brother is the owner of Bar 9.
Shut up!
Here.
Yes, I know Steven. I know all them.
Weird.
Whoa.
We never knew Steven because Kieran probably knew Steven, and he was
the bar manager. He was the one that kind of recruited us to start hosting a comedy show there.
Got it.
We just knew Kieran and the bartender Thor.
Did you know either of them? Oh my god.
No, I don't.
Amazing.
But I know Bar 9. So you had your comedy show at Bar 9. Go ahead.
We had a live show for a really long time, and then we were like, let's do a web series. So we were like, how the fuck are we going to pay for this?
Right.
Yeah.
So we decided.
Well, we just decided, what does everybody like? Chocolate. What else does everybody like? Drugs. So we're like, let's make pot brownies and sell them. And this is before you could order it like a freaking Uber coming to your door. You know what I mean? This
10 years ago.
This is back in the day where it's still illegal.
And
If you want pot brownies, you have to make them yourself.
Or you need a connect.
Or you need a connect.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And so I bought some pot I used to work at a children's facility called Apple Seeds, and it was like a baby play space. It was like a baby country club in the middle of Manhattan.
There we go.
And so I knew some people there who sold drugs that worked there. From that connect, we got the bag of pot, and this was a really, really strong bag. Okay,
it was like strong regs. Like it wasn't.
It
wasn't good pot.
Yeah, it was like a dirty, strong, drag you through the gutter high.
Yeah,
you know,
headache the next day kind of deal. Gotcha.
And so we're like, okay, how do we make this? We go online and we look up, what was it? Samuel L. Jackson.
Someone told us to look at the Samuel L. Jackson weed butter recipe. So
I don't know if he was actually behind it at all.
No.
But they used his
pictures
likeness.
And stuff. And so that's still on because I've looked at it recently to make
and it gives
my
you
own butter.
Yeah.
That's
the recipe.
Right.
Yeah.
So we make the batter and we're like, this is looking good, but we need to taste it to make sure that it is going to be good. So, when you're making cookies or brownies, you lick the spoon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, of course.
We licked a little bit too much. Or this was just, like we said, really strong.
Yeah.
Right.
And this was a point in our lives where the goal was, we're going to go to every Facebook event we're invited to, every birthday, everything. We're going to say yes and just sell these
Hawk these brownies.
And get your name
money.
out there. Yeah, you wanted to get your name out there too, because at that time, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, if you wanted weed, if you wanted edibles, somebody would be like, oh, who do you know? Who do you know?
Yes.
And if you know someone right off the bat has it, that's the person you're going to go to every time, especially if it's good. So, okay, so you were hitting up every event.
So we were hitting up every event, and we would especially sell at our comedy shows because people knew us and they knew it would be there. So we're home. We're making it for the show that night. We have a show that night. We also have a meeting with the DP who's shooting our web series on, this was before Zoom, on Skype.
Remember Skype?
Of course, I do.
Zoom.
So we lick a little batter when we're making them, and we get on the Skype, and as soon as we get on the Skype, we're like, oh no.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's like, it's coming on.
And
it's coming on.
Our DP is the nicest guy, Hugh. Oh my God, we love him so much. But he's
Shout out to Hugh.
He's very technical. He's he loves his long-winded. He's talking about gadgets and this shot and this lens and this. And I'm just like, I can't even follow this one sentence to the end. It's too technical. He's talking too much. It's an important meeting. Planning out the shots and whatever. And I'm like, I can't do this right now.
He's unknowingly putting us in a bad spot.
We were itching.
We were like getting higher and higher, like the more and more he talked.
Just crawling out of our
And
skin.
I think we would have been high even if we weren't on drugs. Talking to him was just so overwhelming.
Big energy.
Yes, exactly.
So we get through that. We're like, all right, we need to put on our game faces. We have a show to do. We have to sober up a little bit and get going.
Had you two ever performed? This was a sketch show you were doing?
We hosted, so we did sketches and a little bit of two women stand up almost.
Beautiful. So you had not performed high ever before?
No. We're not big edible people in general. We were just selling it, and we only licked it for the brownie of it all.
Of course.
Exactly.
It was the brownie of it all. I blame it.
Yeah.
I blame it on the brownie.
We've had some beers performing.
Yeah, but not whiskey, to be high is different.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the bar, and we're both kind of just being weird, obviously, because we're just super high. We get to the bar, and Thor, the bartender, he's like, hey girls, we smell this smell, and it's this overwhelming incense or
really, really strong incense, but then under all these layers of incense, there's a musty kind of almost death-like smell.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like rotting corpses.
He's like,
Oh, God.
hey,
Like-
bunch of dead rats in the basement.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anyone. We're like, we can smell something's
Yeah.
happening
It's
here.
decaying. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So we're like, okay, so now there's dead rats in the basement. That's cool. That's
Great,
cool.
that'll
That's
bring people
cool.
in.
Yeah.
This night, of all nights, we had decided it's normally like kind of we're hosting like a stand-up comedy night.
Yeah.
That's what Kieran wanted. Kieran, the bar manager.
Yeah.
Who was sort of like our alcoholic older brother. Like,
Yeah.
really fun, great guy, loves you,
But then he'd,
encourages
like,
you.
turn
And it
on
would like
you.
turn
Yeah,
and
like-
he'd be like just drunk.
Towards the
mean
end
and
of the
kind
night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But we loved him. And he loved us for the most part. But so we were like, Kieran, we really want to do more of a variety show. Like we want to have musical guests and sketch and all this
Yeah.
other stuff. And he's like, that's fine, just no music. No music. It doesn't work with this kind of show. Yeah, but this is the kind of show we want to have.
Right.
Anyway, he
but
finally
also, I think because Bar 9 was a music venue in the
Yeah.
front, he
Yeah.
didn't want any
To mix.
competition or to mix it either.
Yeah.
So he was like really adamant about not having live music. And we, over months, like convinced him to just let us have like
let us just try it once.
20, 30 minutes up top
Yeah.
to
Right.
get butts and seats. The band will bring people in. Just let us do it. And he's finally like, fine.
Yeah, he gives
And
in.
this high night is the night, unfortunately, that this all went down.
Our opening musical guest was someone that, as we find out, unfortunately, we had never actually heard perform.
Yeah.
Great.
But we knew him from,
It was good.
we
It was a
knew
really
him
good choice.
from a bar that we both ended up working at in some capacity.
Yeah.
And he,
As a
was-
not as a performer though. You knew him
not
just
as a
person.
performer, he was a
Just knew him
bartender.
as a bartender who had traveled Europe.
He traveled
performing.
Europe. He
Traveled
toured.
Europe.
He toured Europe. He
toured.
was well known in Europe, well loved. And he's like, yeah, I just got back from my European tour. We're like, oh, great. He's a singer-songwriter.
Perfect
His
choice.
guitar. I'm like, this is great.
This is the guy. This
This
the
guy
who
has
can do
only
this
toured
show.
hostels in fucking Thailand. That's all he knows with his
Correct.
guitar.
Or
Yeah.
even made it into a hostel. We don't even
Yeah.
know, okay. So we're super high. Just
Yeah.
get the guy on the stage. Let him take over. We will scrap all of our sketches. We'll just introduce the comics. Let's just get this puppy rolling.
Right.
Yep.
So he gets on stage and we tell him he has like 45 minutes to perform. Okay.
Right.
He like comes in early. He gets on stage and he's like,
Money.
No.
what?
No.
And Kieran
I'm crying.
looks at us and is like, get him off the stage. Get him off the stage.
Immediately,
Oh
like his
my
first
God.
line, and Kieran's like, give him the hook.
We're like, we can't. Like,
Any
we
instrument?
Guitar.
I think he was
my
pretending
God.
to play a guitar.
I'm weeping right now. I
This-
cannot believe this.
20 minutes would go by and you'd be like, oh, I know what song he was singing.
Right.
Like, it was like,
It's Nature Boy.
It was-
But I mean, it was
it was
like,
like, there was a boy.
there is a Nature Boy.
So we're like,
it was
like,
barely
Yeah.
approximating music.
gotta get him off. Gotta get him off. Gotta get him
Yeah.
off. You know, I look at Kelly and
We're
I'm like, you gotta do
high,
it. I
and
can't
we're
do
just-
it. I
Yeah.
can't. I got it.
I'm
You
like,
gotta.
I can't do that to someone, but
gotta
also
do
I
it.
hate him.
Get him off.
Yeah.
For lying
Get him
to us,
off.
but also I feel bad for him. I'm going through an existential spiral as we're watching this. All right, I think we let him have 3 songs.
I think he had 3 songs.
Not 45 minutes,
No.
although it felt like an hour and 45
Yes.
minutes.
Literally,
Kelly
you
gets
gave
on
him 3
stage.
hems.
Literally.
Yeah.
Kelly gets on stage, stands in front of him, is like, all right, everybody, that was so-and-so, blah, blah, blah.
Thank
and
you
he,
so
He
much.
goes, really? Really? I'm done? I'm just done? He's doing
That's
that
the type.
On stage, he's
The-
calling us
He's calling us out on the stage.
The
Like,
host of
yeah.
the show who gave him the platform. You guys are hosting.
Yeah.
You gave him
Yeah.
the platform, and he is. But that's the type, right?
Yeah.
That's the type of
Yeah.
person
Correct,
who's
exactly.
like,
That's the
you
type of
know,
person who would say that they could do something and they really can't.
Right.
And now we're in a position where half the audience is there to see him perform because they all work with him and heard he toured in Europe too.
Mhm.
They're all like, I don't want to sit through the rest of the show. I came to see him do 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The other half of the audience is like, get this guy off the stage. This is horrible. Or they've already left.
Right.
And Kieran's like, you girls are fired.
Yeah. He's like, you never,
you'll never walk in this town again.
Legitimately fired. He let you go.
No.
He didn't want, oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
he was
And
pissed.
we like never had music after that ever again.
Yeah.
Like,
This was your one chance. Yeah.
And we blew it because we didn't vet him.
We didn't vet him.
This is your lesson. Everybody listening, this is your lesson, not to just take someone's word for it.
No,
Right?
oh
See
my
it
God.
for yourself.
You gotta see it for yourself and don't lick the batter. But what's the best thing about, because I know you do comedy as well.
Yes.
The best thing about being in a duo is like going through these things. You get to do it together.
Yeah, you're not alone.
At the end of the night, when you drink whiskey to sober up, because you're at that point where you're like, now we have to run this thing, and I don't know how except to get really drunk on whiskey, which actually works.
That
was too high.
Yeah, that is a good antidote.
Just a quick fix.
Kind of levels you out.
Not me. I'd be on the ground. Whiskey makes me black out. I wish it didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I wish it didn't because I do enjoy the buzz that whiskey gives you, but every time it's lights out, so I can't really mess with it.
Okay, so not for you, but something to the equivalent. But I found like
other people. Yeah, listeners.
Because I was spiraling down a drain inside my own brain. I'm like, Lindsay, this is horrible, worst night ever. She's like, let's have a whiskey. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that for me, it was like an antidote because I was like just so high. I needed to feel slightly normal. And that was to feel slightly drunk. Yeah. That made me feel normal.
Yeah.
That night, for some reason, my roommates must have been out of town or something. And Kelly and our friend Jolene, who used to run the door, they both slept at my house. There were like 3 different beds, but we had all the doors open of the apartment. And we just all night were like,
it cracked us up. I mean, it's still it's for years it still cracks us up.
Oh my
but
God,
that
I was
night
crying.
was like 3 a.m, everyone's asleep. One of us would still be kind of like giggling to themselves and go, Muddy Woes.
It was out of control.
I just don't understand how he got away with it.
Yeah.
He got away with it. People came to see him.
No, people came to see him.
People like weird shit.
People there. I know. They must have not known. And it was one of those things where we all knew the coworkers, but we didn't know how well everyone knew each other. So could we say, wow, that was bad? Like, we didn't know who knew who better.
Who was best friends with him? Who was his sister? Like, we didn't want to...
Like, we never even talked to anyone about it after that worked with him either.
Well,
they thought it was bad. Yeah.
That was smart of you because that is true. You never know who knows, and this is just a word to everyone listening. Like, don't talk shit about people you don't really know because you never know who is related or who's best friends.
Yes,
it's a sticky road to go down that can give you a really bad reputation. So good on you two. I have quite a few questions for you.
Yeah.
And also, I'm empathizing with you too because you said this was 15 years ago. People don't understand. Some people do, but not everyone understands how rapidly social media and technology has changed. So,
oh my god, yeah. We didn't even have Instagram, I don't think.
Oh, definitely. 15 years ago, no.
On Instagram.
No, it was we made a Facebook event.
It's all Facebook. You were really just being young, trusting, hopeful artists who were saying
there was no way to see his work
exactly unless he had this big YouTube following or maybe posted a couple of videos on Facebook. You would have no way of knowing. You were trusting a friend or even an acquaintance and trying to, because people, this is why nepotism will never go away, because people want to work with people they like and that or no, and that's the root of all nepotism, and it just will never go away. So it sucks. That's where it stems from. So you guys, you had him on the show. He had the balls to literally say
audacity.
The audacity to say that's it to you. Did you see him afterwards?
We must have, because
we must have seen him
this is
afterwards.
how we knew him. I was a Sex and the City tour guide. And our tour stopped at his bar, because that's Stephen Aiden's bar. They made the Cosmos. I would see him 4 or 5 times a week if he was working behind the bar. Then Kelly wound up working
I ended up
there,
working at that bar.
But I think you worked there after he left.
I think so too. we may have had a crossover of like a week, but I didn't really know him.
I think I saw him for a couple months after until he switched jobs, and I think it was just kind of like, great show.
Hi and bye.
Hi.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think it was the kind kind of thing like no one ever mentions it again.
No one mentioned it again.
Yes. What was his genre? What did he classify himself as?
He was trying
jazzy
to
singer-songwriter type of?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Really took himself
Woo.
very seriously.
Yeah, he was a serious artist.
That's too
a
bad.
seriously terrible artist.
Our shows were a bit debaucherous.
Very silly, dick jokes galore.
No
Yeah.
one was taking themselves seriously.
No, it wasn't as
except
serious.
for this guy.
It was fun. It was just
Yes.
fun. Yeah. Fun with a little like
Silly,
splash.
The crowd, yes.
Right.
Lots of heckling, lots of loud audience members being a part of the show.
It was just silliness.
It was just silliness. So when we gave him the hook and he was like, "Really?
How dare you? Do you know who I am?" It was like
everyone
really.
was like, "Yeah, leave. Like you gotta go, buddy."
Yeah.
Like it was ridiculous.
Now, after your stint as a duo, a Nancy Botwin duo, if you will, that's a
Yes.
Weeds reference for anyone who doesn't know the
Yes.
TV show Weeds. Nancy Botwin was a drug
Love
dealer.
Nancy.
Yes, we love Nancy. That show didn't age well. I tried to give it a rewatch during the pandemic. It didn't age as well as it did.
I never watched it. Lindsay was
I
trying to get me to watch
love-
Weeds.
I
for
loved
years.
it. I loved it when I watched it the first time through, but that was in 2010 and 2011. And then now I'm like, I tried to rewatch. I'm like, oh, Weeds will be a fun rewatch. It was not, unfortunately. But
Interesting.
maybe anybody who hasn't seen it before may enjoy it. Now, your stints as the duo Nancy Botwins, did you continue this much longer? Did it get you financially where you needed to be?
Yeah. Our first web series, we've done 2.
Uh-huh.
Our first one was funded 2/3 of it on a GoFundMe kind of thing. And then the other third of it was through the Pop Brownies. So it
Nice.
really did. We had like a big party.
Yeah, we
and
did
sold
accidentally
them.
poison her dog.
Oh.
Oliver, my dog, ate one of them.
And what did he do?
That was actually a really bad experience.
That was- you
it
know
was
what?
scary.
It was scary, but nothing happened to him.
He was
This-
totally fine.
we-
He just got really high.
Yeah.
We were doing some sort of a last
We were doing it was a fundraiser at
for
our
this.
on our friend's roof. We had Thor was there.
Karaoke.
Thor brought a karaoke machine.
Yes, he was.
Perfect.
And we were going to sell Pop Brownies there too, obviously. So I had one in my purse. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
I had one in my purse.
They're coming out of our ears. And Oliver, her tiny little dachshund terrier, got into
He
it.
got into it.
and ate like an
Who's the
entire
dachshund?
one.
I think he ate like a half
a
a
one?
one. If we licked the batter and got high, I was like
half of one would be like
freaking out about the dog.
Yeah.
So I called a vet and they were like, really like, can't tell you what to do. You got to bring him in. I'm like, I have to host this party. Like,
we
Yeah.
were already on our way to Brooklyn from Manhattan
Yeah.
on a Saturday. Like
Yeah.
we weren't coming back.
Yeah.
So
we
Oliver had to wait it out, basically.
So I had a neighbor keep an eye on him. She like checked in on him a few times. He took all my shoes out of my closet and put them in the middle of my apartment. When I got home, all my shoes were in the middle of the floor.
Oh, okay. An
Weren't they sort of,
organized
like,
pothead.
organized? Like he
It
was,
was
he
organized.
was like, I need to figure this closet out. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, this is my moment.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
he wanted to be in silence and darkness
Yes.
in the closet.
That makes
And I
sense.
think
Oh.
that he took them out to like give him a nest.
She called her dad for advice because they have dogs, and
Yeah.
her dad's a pothead.
He's a
So
pothead.
she was like, "What do I do? I'm freaking out." And he's like, "Just put on some Jimi Hendrix and let it ride. He'll be
Yeah,
fine."
He'll be fine.
He was okay. I think if a dog doesn't start like seizing from the chocolate right away, like
Oh, yes,
they're
it was
gonna be
chocolate.
okay. The
I
That
didn't
was
even
the
think
other
of
thing,
that.
the chocolate of it all. Yeah,
the chocolate of it all.
I think it made him stronger.
I used to work, this was years ago, I worked at Guy Fieri's restaurant in Times Square. Do you remember that?
I went there to their opening.
I literally worked there from before it opened until the last day when it closed. So I was
Wow.
the unofficial queen of Flavortown. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
But you went to the opening, like the opening night?
The opening, yeah, like
Why?
I got invited by the Appleseed. It was an Appleseeds connection.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
that's incredible. Well, I was there too, so we have been to the same party. Great hors d'oeuvres, great hors d'oeuvres. I remember there was one time one of my girlfriends she has a backyard, and she was having some people over. It was like one of the first hot days of summer. This is probably like 2013 or 14, and she was having people in her backyard. I had to go to work for the night shift, but all my friends were at her house, and everybody was like so excited. It's like, oh, it's finally warm, we can sit outside. And I just remember being so pissed that I had to go do the shift, that I put my hand in my bag. I went to go get my phone out so I could call my mom and complain to her about how pissed I was. And I grabbed a pot brownie that I had bought from someone at work. Dare I have a little bit of this in solidarity with my friends partying? And I took a piece off. It was a huge mistake, but also kind of funny. I took a piece off. I ate it about 4:30. As soon as we're supposed to get on the shift, it's a Saturday night. I walk in. Whoa, this bitch is fucked up, and I was really really high, and I had to work this entire shift. This guy was like, okay, I'm gonna give you all my tables, I'll give you everything, blah blah blah. I can't handle this. I was forgetting to ring in people's drinks, I was forgetting to ring in people's appetizers. It was just like it was a nightmare. So
that's the
for
worst.
the youngins like listening to this now, you know, if I eat this little gummy, it's this many milligrams, and my body only likes this many milligrams.
We had no way to control that.
And you're just like prayed to make. I hope this is okay. Like,
being
honestly
high at work, especially a restaurant where it's like super like fast paced, super stressful, a lot of memory involved, a lot of talking to people.
Yeah.
All the things.
It was like I was relaxed because I was so high, so I was making mistakes, but I didn't care that I was making mistakes.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't ring in this table's entire appetizers on a Saturday night when they're about to go to the theater, and then I'm like, it'll be out. Don't worry, we didn't charge you for your drinks. We didn't charge you for your drinks because I didn't fucking ring in the drinks. So that's
amazing.
You also didn't get your drinks, but you also here nor there.
I also drank all your drinks on the walk over here. No, it is one of those things. Milligrams is such a big thing. Like 5 milligrams back then would have like really messed me up. Now I need 100 just to feel anything.
I could only take like
2.5.
Like when we were making the pop brownies, we tried not to test our own supply.
Right.
It was always you lick the batter and they go like, fuck, I licked the batter. Like, it was always a mistake. I'm not making regular brownies, you dum-dum. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, you can't lick an entire wooden spoon dripping with batter.
Even though it tastes great. Now, the cool thing about you two is you are a comedy duo who has sustained the test of time. You've been together for 15 years, so I'm sure, were you friends before, or were you kind of just like, hey, I think you're funny, let's work together?
Kind of both, actually.
Yeah.
We met at UCB and joined a little group off of the class to start a project together. And then that's 6 people, too many cooks in the kitchen, and we both kind of looked at each other and we're like, should we like
break off,
blow this popsicle stand and like blow each other? But not really in a sexual way.
Lindsay thought I was a bitch when she first met me, though.
Well, she wasn't very friendly to me when I first, it's like UCB. I didn't know anyone in the class, and you go and you say where you're from, and she said she was from Florida, and I'm from Florida. We're from 30 minutes away from each other. I like walked up, hey, I'm from Florida, and she was like, cool. Okay. See you later, bitch. Like, I was just like, what a dick.
You were trying.
I was really trying.
Yeah.
Maybe you were trying too hard.
Maybe I was.
What did you think of her?
She doesn't remember.
I don't.
No.
I don't remember anything. It's all very gray to me. Like, there was nothing, like, I don't think I felt any which way about her. I was just, it was indifferent.
Yeah.
I give that off.
Yeah, like I'm the indifferent vibes.
Yeah. But we started doing sketches on YouTube, and then that kind of turned into a live show, and then that turned into like 2 web series. Yeah. We moved here basically together. We've mostly, the podcast that we have is together. Mm-hmm. We've stuck together for a long time. We go on honeymoons.
We went to South Africa together.
Oh my God.
Costa Rica together.
Oh my God.
Kelly's birthday.
What part of Costa Rica are you going to?
We're doing a writing and yoga retreat.
Nosara?
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
It's on the west coast.
Okay. Yeah, I have been to West Coast, Costa Rica. I've been to Tamarindo and
that's close to where we're going.
Yes, and the Arenal volcano area I've been to.
That's the other place we're going to go there for a few days as well before we fly home.
You're going to love it, love it, love it.
We can take this off air, but we want to know where you stayed. We want to know
absolutely. I will give you all the Costa Rica tea, but it was one of my favorite places in the world. And the cool thing about the Arenal area is so different from the beach area, so you get 2 different worlds in one. Best of both worlds. So that's great. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. And let's talk a little bit about your podcast. I will say right off the bat, your podcast is called Fuck You, I'm Smarter. And one of the
Right.
things I love about it is that you come in with info and you kind of teach each other a little bit about the subject that you're going over that week. And the listeners get to learn a little something too. So where did this come from? How long have you been doing the podcast?
We're on like 200 episodes, so whatever that is in years.
Are we really?
I think so.
No.
That's almost 4 years, right? 108 would be almost.
I thought it was 200. No? I made that up.
You made it up.
I made that up.
We've
So
been
a
doing
little
it
over 2
since,
years
like,
then, right?
Well, we lost a year.
It was before COVID. Like,
Oh,
it was
okay.
before.
2019, the end of 2019, we started it.
Yeah.
End of 2018.
I don't know.
You know what? You won't
Who really knows?
Yeah, you're not graded. You're not getting graded.
We basically grew up in Florida and felt like our education system had failed us. And we would be like out at parties and be like, look, I know that I'm like not a stupid person, but I don't know anything that these people are talking about.
Right.
Or I don't know anything about this thing that I probably should know about. Me, for example, I never had a good history teacher. I feel like I know nothing about history, any history. I never learned it. So
There's big gaps.
There's
big gaps. Big like holes in our knowledge and education. We wanted to be smart.
Yeah. So we're like, let's
learn.
make it fun. We'll do a comedy game show, and like every guest that we have, like Rocky, you're going to be a guest, and
in about an hour, less than that.
So we go through and we look at the guests, and where are they from? What were their strengths and weaknesses in school? What do they do for a living? And we kind of tailor the games, or most of the games, to our guests. So we learn about our guests' high school experiences and what they were like growing up, but then we also get to quiz them and see who's dumber, us or them.
Yeah. And we like to incorporate some, like, sometimes we do little fun games, play MASH, or we ask embarrassing stories if the guest has any. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, just a fun little.
Yeah, it's been really fun, and we've had some awesome guests and played some really stupid games, and yeah, it's great. Everyone should listen. Fuck you, I'm smarter.
Where can everyone follow you?
The easiest way to do it is at Kelly and Lindsey on Instagram.
Perfect.
And then through that, there's like a link tree in our bio that has the podcast, the web series, and you'll find our personal accounts on there as well.
Amazing. Well, ladies, this was absolute delightful story. It was very wild. And though I've never made any kind of edible treat in the THC realm myself, now you can just go to the store and buy it, which is amazing.
Exactly. We don't need to do it anymore.
I'm happy to have found some pothead kindred spirit sisters.
Yes.
So this is really wonderful. I'm so excited to do your podcast, and I've loved having you on mine. So everybody, follow Kelly and Lindsey. They are just wonderful people, and they're a lot of fun. So they're in good wild night company.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
This is so fun, Rocky. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for doing the show. We'll talk soon, okay?
Sounds good. Bye.
All right, bye.
Well, guys, that was one wild night. And you know what, Kelly, with you, every night is wild.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get me into those owl pajamas and just put on some Netflix. I am fucking wild.
Wilding out, baby. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends, listen to Rocky's podcast, Wild Nights with Rocky, and then listen to her episode with us on Fuck You, I'm Smarter.
We love you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Fuck You, I'm Smarter.